Hi, you guys. Welcome to this video in which I'm going to explain the verbal modes in Spanish and particularly the subjunctive mode, okay? First of all, let's start by reviewing what a verbal mode is, okay? A verbal mode in Spanish is a category which refers to the value the speaker gives to an action. The value is determined by how real, possible, or likely an action is to happen. So far, we've studied two of the verbal modes in Spanish has, indicativo and subjuntivo. Let's go with indicativo, just as a revision. We use it to express the reality, things that happened, are happening, or will happen. Inside this category, we find verbal tenses such as presente, pretérito perfecto simple, and pretérito perfecto compuesto, pretérito imperfecto and pretérito pluscuamperfecto, condicional simple and condicional compuesto, futuro simple, futuro compuesto. Okay, basically we can think of this indicative mode as a bag in which we store, or as a box maybe, in which we store different tenses. All these tenses have in common that they express reality, things that happened, or will happen. Okay, that's the main thing you need to know in for the indicative mode. Now, the subjunctive mode. We use it to express opinions, possible futures, desires, things we are not sure about, etc. There are certain structures which require the use of a subjunctive verb. Let's check them out. First of all, we have, when we express our opinion, our valoration. For example, we have, me parece bien que ella vaya a la casa de su amiga. Me parece bien, it could also be me parece mal que ella vaya a la casa de su amiga. Why not? Like if we don't think it's a good thing. Me parece lógico if we think that is logic. That is logical. Me parece razonable if we think that's reasonable, okay? Basically, what we, whenever you use one of these structures, okay, and then add que, we need to use a subjunctive mode. Now, once again, if we change the tense of me parece for me parecía, we could use, if we say, me parece bien que ella vaya a la casa de su amiga, we're saying, I think it's all right if she goes to her friend's house. Now, when we use the me parecía bien que ella fuera a la casa de su amiga, this one will be translatable as, I thought it was all right if she went to her friend's house. Okay? It's basically the same? Yes. Is there any difference? Not really. Like maybe one is my current opinion when I use the present tense, and the other one is like my previous opinion, okay? If I say me parecía bien, right? So that's the difference. That's how you would use these structures. Now, we can use the structure cuando plus a verb with a future value. What do I mean by this? For instance, let's check out this example. Cuando tenga mi título, trabajaré. When I'll have my degree, I'll work. Another example will be, yo dije que cuando tuviera mi título, trabajaría. I misspelled it, sorry. I said that when I had my degree, I would work. Okay? This is basically a case of reported speech, okay? And there isn't much more to say. Just remember, you guys, that whenever you are using cuando plus a verb with a future value, okay, cuando plus a situation in the future, you will need to use the subjunctive mode. What do I mean by this? Cuando tenga mi título, trabajaré. I don't have my degree yet, right? But when I'll have it, I'll work. Right? That's it. That is the future value I'm talking about. Now, there are other uses, such as verbs gustar, encantar, interesar, and all the verbs with a similar conjugation, plus que. Whenever you use one of these structures, plus que, the next verb has to be a subjunctive verb. Okay? What do I mean by this? Let's check it out. Me encanta que estudies español. I love that you study Spanish. Me encantaba que estudiaras español. I loved you studied Spanish. Okay? Basically, if we use verbs such as, we could also say, me gusta que estudies español, o me gustaba que estudiaras español, o me interesa que estudies español, me importa que estudies español. All of these verbs which have this conjugation, okay, should, whenever followed by que and a verb, this verb needs to be subjunctive. And if the encantar, gustar, interesar verb is conjugated into the past tense, we'll need to use estudiar conjugated into the past subjunctive as well. Okay? Finally, we have the structure antes de que and después de que. So, antes de que and después de que. Antes de que te vayas, voy a visitarte. Before you leave, I'm going to visit you. And antes de que te fueras, fui a visitarte. Before you left, I went to visit you. Right? And we can also use some examples with después de que. Después de que comas, vamos al parque. O después de que te levantes, vamos a la playa. Okay? Comas, levantes. That is subjunctive, right? Now, let's check out the conjugation. Basically, we have here 3 examples of regular conjugations of the subjunctive, okay? In this case, amar, comer, and vivir, right? And we're going to check the conjugation. As you can see, the present tense for amar is que yo ame, que tú ames, que él ame, que nosotros amemos, que vosotros améis y que ellos amen, okay? Now, for comer is que yo coma, que tú comas, que él coma, que nosotros comamos, que vosotros comáis y que ellos coman. And for presente is que yo viva, que tú vivas, que él viva, que nosotros vivamos, que vosotros viváis y que ellos vivan. As you can see, like the last vowel is switched, okay? Why do I say they are switched? It's quite easy, actually. Like amar, the infinitive verb, finishes in AR. But the conjugation finishes with the vowel E, right? Now, comer and vivir finish in ER and IR respectively. Now, as you can see, they are conjugated in the vowel A, right? So they are switched. That's what you need to remember in order to conjugate the present subjunctive verbs into, well, yeah, in this category, basically. Now, for the pretérito imperfecto, is basically, we basically follows the next rule. If the verb finishes in AR, our conjugation will be que yo amara, que tú amaras, que él amara, que nosotros amáramos, que vosotros amarais, que ellos amaran. Right? Now, for pretérito imperfecto, with verbo comer and vivir, es que yo comiera, que tú comieras, que él comiera, que nosotros comiéramos, que vosotros comierais, que ellos comieran. And futuro imperfecto, que yo viviera, que tú vivieras, que él viviera, que nosotros viviéramos, que vosotros vivierais y que ellos vivieran. Okay? Basically, if the verb finishes in AR, it will be conjugated with ara. Now, if the verb finishes in ER or IR, it will be conjugated with iera. Right? That's basically it. Also, there are other forms, but yeah, this one will be the most important. Now, let's talk about the irregularities, right? As you know, because we have studied it, the irregularities in the subjunctive are based in the irregularities of the present indicative tense, right? What do I mean by this? Let's go with tenga, with tenga. Where is it tenga? Okay, tener is an irregular verb in present indicative tense because it is tengo. And then, for the conjugation, we need to consider this irregularity in present indicative tense and just conjugate it following the rule we just studied. As it is tenga, is tenga instead of tenge, okay? Because the infinitive verb is tener, is an ER verb. And we said, or we studied in the last slide, that whenever a verb finishes in ER, it will be conjugated with a, okay? So, that's it. Que yo tenga, que tú tengas, que él tenga, que nosotros que tengamos, que vosotros tengáis y que ellos tengan. Okay? And then, of course, it will be the same with, for example, verbo querer, to want something. Que yo quiera, que tú quieras, que él quiera, right? Because it's quiero in present indicative tense. Now, it will happen the same with verbo poder. Is yo puedo in present indicative tense. Therefore, in present subjunctive tense, it will be que yo pueda, que tú puedas, que él pueda, que nosotros podamos, right? And also we have some exceptions. One of them, of course, being verbo ser, okay? Which is que yo sea, que tú seas, que él sea, que nosotros seamos, que vosotros seáis y que ellos sean. And verbo to go, verbo ir, que es que yo vaya, que tú vayas, que él vaya, que nosotros vayamos, que vosotros vayáis y que ellos vayan. The same now happens with the with pretérito imperfecto of the subjunctive. Every verb that is irregular in pretérito perfecto simple in the indicative tense will also be irregular in pretérito imperfecto of the subjunctive, okay? For instance, let's go with verbo tener, which in pretérito perfecto simple of the indicative mode is yo tuve, is clearly irregular. Therefore, its conjugation for the pretérito imperfecto of the subjunctive mode will be que yo tuviera, que tú tuvieras, que él tuviera, que nosotros tuviéramos, que vosotros tuvierais y que ellos tuvieran, right? Now, the same happens to verbo saber, which in pretérito perfecto simple of the indicative mode is yo supe. Therefore, it will be yo supiera, tú supieras, él supiera, nosotros supiéramos, vosotros supierais, etc, etc, etc. Now, you also need to remember that there is a particular irregularity, that is that, and this one is that every verb, well, verbs ir and ser, when conjugated into pretérito imperfecto, are conjugated in the same way. They are basically the same verb in this pretérito imperfecto conjugation. What do I mean by this? If I say, like, to go and to be will be both fuera, fueras, fuera, fuéramos, fuerais, y fueran. Okay? That's it. Now, just to finish this video, I have prepared this little, let's say, drawing. It's not that good. Like I did it really fast. But what do I mean with this little drawing? I mean that all of these are verbs. Okay, we have a big category which is verbs. Then we have different subcategories which are the modes, and inside the modes, okay, we find the tenses. This is what you need to understand, or how you need to process this information. Okay, that's everything for today. I hope you guys have an excellent I don't know, afternoon, day, night, weekend, holiday, whatever. I hope you have an excellent whatever you have, and see you later. Adios.